Hey everyone, this is Dawn and welcome back to my channel. So today I am coming on to talk about the Crafty Dares challenge, which is a challenge that is over on Instagram. You don't need to share on YouTube unless it's something additional you want to do, but it is an Instagram challenge and you should be active on Instagram. And it is hosted by Tina at Tellhimthanku, and I will leave Tina's channel and her Instagram linked down below in the description box. So it is a great little community there. It's a wonderful little challenge just to kind of get your mojo going. If you only maybe have a few moments to craft something, it's just a little something, or it can be as big as something as you want to make it. So we are given a dare, and then the dare is 3 items that we're going to use in our craft project, whatever that project might be. You've got to use these 3 items in your project. We are given the dare on Sunday, and then we post to Instagram on Friday. And then every so often, folks from the group are asked to share what 3 items you want your dare to be. So it's great interactive community with some wonderful crafters, and it's really a lot of fun. So this week the Crafty Dare is we are going to use a frame. It's got picture frame, but it can be a frame of whatever we want it to be. It can actually be a picture frame or a chipboard or something made out of other metals or other materials, I should say. 1 word, and then the year 2021. So happy crafting. Now, last week I did a tag that I did post on Instagram. I actually didn't end up sharing it here on YouTube. So last week our dare was to use something recycled, and this is just a box from some granola bars or something like that. So that was my recycled items. And then we needed to use alcohol markers or inks, and this is the background that I created out of my alcohol inks, and well, really I used markers and spritzed with alcohol, and a heart shape. So those were the 3 elements that I used in my tag last week. So this was my project from last week. So now this week I have decided, so my frame that I'm going to use, I've got this chipboard piece, and I don't know if this is Maggie Holmes or Jen Hadfield or somebody, but I've had this for a long time, and these pieces here are frames. But then I saw this, so I think I'm going to use this, and then it made me think of this fabric that I have in my stash, and kind of a shabby chic feeling. And then recently I picked up this die set at Tuesday morning, and it's got the words album, diary, and journal. So I pulled out of my stash this little traveler's notebook insert, and I believe what I'm going to do is cover this journal with the fabric, and then I think I'm going to use the word journal, and then heck, I've even got the numbers here where I can make my 2021. So I'm gonna cover this insert, and that will satisfy the dare challenge. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Okay, so the very first thing I want to do is this is definitely going to be a little shabby, and I probably should iron this fabric, but I don't want to iron. Do you want to iron? So what I'm going to do to cover this journal is I want to leave the edges frayed, so I don't really want to cut this fabric. I want to tear it. And I'm going to turn my orientation around here. So what I'm going to do is just kind of get as close to where I want to be. Pull this up a little bit. So I'm just going to line this up, maybe closer to this edge so I don't create so much waste. And then I'll use these scraps for other things. So let's see, I think I'm going to come over just a little more. So I already have this wonderful frayed edge. So I'm going to make a little cut right about here, and another little cut right about here. So I'm going to give us our starting point here, and then it rips nice and easy. Okay, so now I need to make another cut the other direction. Let's see here. Let's get this nice and lined up. probably should have oriented it the other direction so I could see a little better. Okay, so now I'm going to make a little snip right about here. Oh, there we go. That was a little tougher. Probably because I'm going against the grain or something of that nature. Folks that work with fabric more would know about that. All right, so now I've got my piece, and now I am going to just coat my cover with some Fabri-Tac glue, which is an acetone-based glue. And I am just going to cover this, and I'm probably going to use my bone folder as well. So let's see. I'll show you this just to get started. Let's go ahead and cover this well, and especially the edges. And I'm going to do the front cover first and then finish up the back. I probably might have wanted to start in the back. That way if I have any mess ups, they're kind of hidden more in the back. But I want to cover this well. And this glue is a Beacon product, Fabri-Fix, Fabri-Tac, and a 3-in-1. They're all basically, as far as I can tell, they seem like the same type of glue, and they're wonderful for fabrics. To me, I call it like hot glue in a bottle. It has those properties, and I love the hold. All right, so I want to get in here. And I'm going to just smooth this out the best that I can. Actually, I'm going to use my fingers first because I feel like I'm getting some ridges from maybe letting my glue dry a little more than I wanted to before I started out here. Okay. And I've got a little bubble here, but I think from the pattern, you're not necessarily going to see that. And this absolutely does not have to be perfect because this is for me. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and get this back spine pretty good. All right, you could probably smooth this out a little better than I am doing. Again, I want to get those edges nice and well coated. Alrighty, and now we're just going to fold this over and smooth it out. Oh, that's a little better. I think I had this coated a little better. Now I think I am going to be seeing a little bit of my journal show through here, but I think that's okay. Again, this is not going to be anything perfect, but I think it's going to be lovely. And this edge here is not quite even, so I am going to even that out a little bit, and then I can fray the edges a little bit. I hate losing some of that really good fray, but that is okay. And then you can just kind of pull it and poke out some of those strings. Okay, so I am going to decide what the next things I'm going to do to the cover and do my die cutting, and I will be right back. All right, so the next thing I want to do is go ahead and use my little frame on here, and I need something to break up the matchiness of this. So I found this little scrap of lace I've got in my stash, and I probably picked this up from a thrift store. It's probably the, you know, an inexpensive tablecloth at one point. And I think what I'm gonna do is lay these leaves on here and just kind of trim around them a little bit. I was taking a piece of mesh here that I've got from, oh, I guess it was the bottom of this piece, but it's going to be simple, but I think it's a little too simple. So I think I'm going to go ahead and work on cutting out these leaves and kind of go more of that direction. So what I'm going to do, I think, is I almost thought about just cutting straight down. Let's see, how do we like that? Ooh, that's kind of pretty. Can you see that white popping off of there. It's very subtle, but it breaks up the background so that the frame is not going to just go into the background. Okay, I am going to work on cutting out this lace and getting it adhered, and I will be back. All right, so I am back, and then I decided to just trim this little lacy section here so you can see where the leaves are gathered or layered up here. So I just used a little bit of Fabri-Tac, and all my edges are down pretty good, or Fabri-Fix, whatever it is that I'm using here today, the Fabri-Fix. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and trim off this section, and then here's the little chipboard frame that I'm calling that I'm going to use on here. And then I did go ahead and die cut the number, so 2021 is one of the challenges that we've got to do. And then I did cut out the word journal, and one thing that I was a little surprised about, the J is not connected to the rest of the word, so we'll have to be careful when gluing this down. And then the J does have a dot on top of it as well, so I'm gonna have to make sure that I put those two pieces together accordingly when I glue it down. And I decided I was almost gonna do gold foil to cut out the words, and I know the black is quite maybe harsher, but I like that it stands out. Oh, you know what? I really do like that. And I might put probably some glitter pen on top of these words, of course. So, all right, so I'm going to go ahead and trim off the back. I'm going to affix the chipboard and our journal word. I really like that. And then I've got the 2021 to incorporate, and I think I might just put that down here on the bottom on the back as opposed to doing it on the front. Let's see. Let's take a look. I think that's what I want to do. Oh, you know what? I've got this little bit here. But you know what? I think if I do that, it's going to kind of be a little more modern looking than I want, because I'm really liking the shabbiness. Or, you know what? I could put the 2021 on the inside cover. There's really nothing on it right now. All these teeny tiny pieces. You know, I kind of don't hate that. But I'm not going to leave it there. Maybe, I'm not entirely sure. So I'm going to think about this a little bit. But anyways, I will come back with the completed cover here in just a moment. I'll be back. All right, so here is the finished project. I actually came back and added a little pink seam binding because that just kind of finishes it off nicely. I did also add just a slightest touch of some eyelash trim. If you watch me for any length of time, I love eyelash trim, and it's a very subtle extra texture down in there. And I did add some glitter pen to the journal, so I don't know if that is going to catch on there or not, but it does kind of lighten it up. So this was actually really easy to do. Working with this fabric was really simple, and I hope that inspired you and to maybe try something new. It took me a long time to branch out into playing with fabric because I just stuck with paper for the longest time. So you can see the little layered it's like a polyester lace, and that just adds the most wonderful little texture. I just added the glue, and of course that was my little frame, I'm calling it. That's the chipboard, and I did go ahead and add the 2021 on the back of the cover. And this is not perfect at all, and I loved the fraying. I could have got a little bit closer. You see it's going to peek out on the end. I could trim that closer, but it's got actually a really nice shabby chic feeling, and I think this is going to be something fun to work in and maybe do some art journaling, or who knows. So anyways, thanks so much for stopping by. If you are interested, checking out the Crafty Dares on Instagram, of course, again, that information will be linked in the description box below. Thanks so much for stopping by and watching. Would love it if you give me a thumbs up, and subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you in the next video. Until next time.